Good morning, all of you. Welcome to GoOnlineTrainings.com. Today, we're going to understand normalization and denormalization topic. Okay, so let us understand why is that, when is that we have to go in for normalization, and after normalization, then normally people would be thinking about the denormalization concept. Okay, so let us understand what is a normalization. Okay. Now, before understanding normalization, so normalization is a tool independent concept. What do you mean by tool independent concept? Whether you use Oracle or SQL Server or DB2 or Teradata, anything you can use. Okay, but before using the tool, you need to understand ERD concept. Once you draw the ERD, then you can go in for the normalization concepts. So ERD and normalization, these two concepts are initially will be implemented before start with the coding. Okay. So we understood already ERD. ERD modeling is known as entity relationship diagram model, where you identify entities, you identify relationships among entities, then you create attributes, you will create primary keys, foreign keys, then then you identify one to one, one to many, many to many relationships among entities, and you create tables and all. Okay, that is what we discussed so far in ERD modeling. Okay, now and normalization and denormalization concepts, these are tool independent concept. What do you mean by that? That means whether you use SQL Server or whether you use Oracle or DB2, anything you may use. Okay, that does not matter to us. So before using any tool, you have to go in for these two concepts. What are they? ERD modeling is first one. The second one is normalization and denormalization. These two concepts are tool independent concepts. There is no tool dependency. You have to be very clear on it. Okay? Is a normalization, and let us understand. When you make good ERD modeling will give you a clear cut tables and primary keys, foreign keys. But if you don't create good ERD diagrams, ERD modeling tool, then if you think that I have created my ERD modeling, but I have a little confusion there, but I'm not sure whether the data is perfect or my ERD model designing is perfect. So when you have some kind of confusion, if you don't have the clarity on your ERD modeling, then definitely you can think of a normalization concept. So, but if you very good with ERD modeling, then definitely you can skip normalization concept. Normalization concept. Okay, so that means what? If you create very good ERD modeling, then normalization is not needed. Okay, but even though you use normalization technique, you don't get much benefit out of it. Okay, so that means what? ERD modeling, if you practice neatly and draw ERD diagrams neatly, then any designer will ignore normalization. But if they say that, let me also apply normalization. Even though they apply normalization after getting the tables, they don't get any kind of benefits. So that is the main. So if you have any confusion in our ERD modeling diagrams, then definitely you can go in for the normalization concept. Okay, ERD modeling, normalization, both of them together, what will give you is they'll give you very clear cut tables. End of the ERD modeling, end of the normalization, what is that you're going to get is you will get very clear cut tables. That's what you will get. Those tables you have to create inside your tool. So to start with the tool, you need to have these two concepts clear. Give you list of tables that need to be created. That's it, and it will be in very clear manner. So let us understand what is a normalization. Normalization means, in simple words, removing redundancy or removing duplicates is known as a normalization. Okay, for example, table. In the table, I have some duplicate data. So if I have some duplicate data or duplicates, what happens is, then when you have duplicates, you need to maintain two copies. For example, let me tell you one simple example. I have given my address to some company. My company is storing my address into, tables, table one and table two. So when they forgot to answer, uh, when I given my address to my company, they are storing the data in two tables, say table one and table two. When I change my address, they're supposed to change the data in both tables because they have duplicated the tables because they're maintaining the same data in here and there. When you maintain the data here and there, what happens is when you forgot to update the for second table, whenever the customer is changing, the employee is changing the address, then automatically what happens is your database will be in the inconsistent mode. Sometimes what you do is you update both tables. Sometimes you update first table, you forgot to update the second table whenever employee is asking you to change the address, or whenever employee is coming and asking you to change the phone number. Sometimes you may update the first table, sometimes both tables, sometimes the second table. So you don't know where you have updated. So after a month's time, after 1 year's time, you will be landing. You don't have a clue which is the right data be into. Okay, that means what? If I have a duplicate data, if I am sometimes if I updating here, if I updating there, and definitely someday you will lose your data integrity, lose your control. Integrity means correctness because you don't know which is the old cell phone number for Bhaskar, which is the new cell phone number for Bhaskar. Sometimes you're not showing which is the correct address for Bhaskar and which is the old address for the Bhaskar. You don't know because you have created duplicate tables and try to implement them. Okay? Or sometimes what happens is one application is seeing your table one, the other application would be seeing other table two. For example, your billing application is seeing your old address table. Your the call center people are seeing the current address. So when you give the information to the call center people saying that my address has been changed, they're updating in call center database, but that is not getting pushed to the updated in the billing database. So all bills will be sent to the wrong address. Okay, but there are many problems if you have a duplicates. So normalization means removing duplicates. That is what is a normalization. Okay, for this let me take a case study and explain. Let me explain you a purchase order case study. Okay, what do you mean by purchase order? Purchase order means business whenever a company is planning to buy some items for them to use, what they do is they will have lots of suppliers who are supplying material to that company. For example, Infosys you take, or you take Wipro, or you take any company, you take our company Cosmic, any company you take, need some items. So what we do is we'll have some tie-up with suppliers who will supply the material to us. For example, if we need laptops, we'll have tie-up with software laptop, the laptop hardware dealers. So we'll have tie-up with some, other people. When we need, stationery, pens, markers, and all of them, we have tie-up with some other suppliers. Like that, our company, or Infosys, or Wipro, you take any company, they'll be having a tie-up with many suppliers who will supply the material to the Wipro or Infosys or to Cosmic or to any other company. So, but how the process would be? So, whenever Infosys needs an item or couple of items, they create what is known as a purchase order. So, what is the purchase order? Purchase order looks like this. They'll have purchase order number, and they write when is that they're going to raise the purchase order, and say supplier Big Bazaar, saying big number 1234 Jayanagar, Bangalore. Okay, so we need list of items. Serial number one, we need say Item number one, description is pen. So quantity, like that. They store some, data. So how do they, write this is just give it like this. So item number is say 101 is one, sorry. Serial number is 1, item number say 101, description let us say pen, and quantity we need 20, and the price each pen would be say 123 rupees. Then discount. Discount I would be getting on the total quantity. If you, if the quantity is less than 20 or less than 100, we'll give you flat 1.2% discount. Okay. So the total amount. What is the total amount? The total amount is quantity into price minus discount. So I'll get some X rupees as a discount. X rupees as a total amount. So this is X. Okay. Now we need one more item. Say the item number could be 156. So we need duster, let us say. We need dusters. So we need some duster would be say 34 rupees. So when you buy, but there is a range. If you buy 1 to 100 items, we'll give you flat 1% discount. 100 to 200 will give you 3%. So the discount is dependent on the quantity. Okay. Now the flat 2.0 discount will be given. I'll get some Y amount here like that. So what happens is whenever I am doing any kind of, whenever my company needs any kind of material, so as a clerk of the company, I have to, create this kind of. Now this purchase order will be, so it will be like this. Okay. Just, okay. Now it will be like this. So you have the data here. The once everything is done, you need to find out the total amount. Then you need to have a supply discount. What do we mean by supply discount? This discount is on the total money. The entire money, the total money is more than 1 lakh rupees. I'll give you flat 10% discount. So I'm getting two kinds of discounts. One is discount on the quantity and discount on total amount. Okay. So like that. Then the tax also I have to pay. What is the tax? Tax is depends upon the supplier location. If supplier is in Tamil Nadu, the tax would be say 12%. If that guy is in Andaman or maybe in Orissa or maybe in some other state, then that definitely it is 6%. So depends upon the supplier's location. I need to pay the tax because the tax is depends upon the state, not depends upon the country or like that. Okay. So if it is the supplier is from Chennai, then say 12% I have to pay. If supplier is in say in Odisha, I have to pay only 6 to 8% of the tax amount. So the tax amount is completely depends upon the supplier's location. Okay. Then I have to add the tax amount. Then total amount is some Y rupees or Z rupees. So this is how I have to make a purchase order. So clear? Now I am the clerk in my company. Say my company is Cosmic Technologies. In my company, we don't have any automation. So whenever we need or we are buying material, so what we do is the chairman of the company or other people in the company, they'll tell me. So what I do, I'll speak to suppliers. I'll get their quotes. I'll get the price. I'll negotiate. I will have some 20 30 vendors with me. Okay, suppliers with me. I'll have phone numbers and everything. So they'll come once in a year. They'll give me the fixed price and all. They cannot change because I'll say 2000, 11 to 12, this is the price. 2012 to 13, this is the price. When I say, item number is 101, for it is 101 for everybody because when I say 101, this is fixed for me and fixed for those suppliers also. Okay, they are very clear. I am also very clear. So all of them will be discussing once in a year. Okay, so the quantity, price, everything. They'll give me once in a year, that is fixed. So next year only we may change if they want, otherwise they'll continue. Clear? So the discounts, everything, they will give it to me once in a year. Okay? Now, I'll have some 20 30 people. who are going to supply material, laptops, pen drives, mouse, then water bottles, dusters, markers, fans, chairs, tables, all of them. Okay, so this is what I'm following. So whenever we need, I'm raising a purchase order. Every day I would be, or every month I would be releasing some 100 to 200 purchase orders. So I'll have a huge number of purchase orders. But the problem with me is, whenever my management is coming and asking, hey Bhaskar, tell me so far how many Dell laptops we purchased. If they're asking this kind of question, I don't have any clue. So I have to go to my go down and take out the 2011, 2012 or 2013, purchase orders. Keep on searching, keep on searching, keep on searching, and do some calculations. So manually we are doing it, and it is not so fast. And management is also, not good, not good. They're saying that, Bhaskar, you're taking so time to do. But definitely the problem is I don't have automation. I don't have any computers. I am everything doing manually. If I am doing manually, definitely the system would take lots of time. The manual system will take lots of time. Clear? Now, my says that we supposed to implement, or we will implement automation. So let us maintain a computer, so that a computer can store the data about this purchase order. Okay, so when my company is planning to implement, definitely they're implementing the data that needs to be stored in RDBMS. So if you are the developer, or if you are the designer of a RDBMS system, how do you create tables for this purchase order? That is the first question you need to think of. If you are a designer, and the company is asking you to design a list of tables for this design, and they're asking you to create primary keys, foreign keys, so that you will be very clear. And whenever you have data coming in, and write queries and retrieve the data. Okay, so that is your responsibility, is to create a list of tables for this you know uh, study. It's okay. Now you tell me, you think, you take your own time, I'll give you some 5-10 minutes time. You tell me what are the tables for this case study. Because this case study, if you see, if the purchase order is collection of lots of entities, you can see there are many entities which are you can see here. All entities will become tables there, because I told you item, supplier, like that you can find out few uh, entities, because each entity is a separate table here, like that. This purchase order uh, entities, few tables that need to be created. If you're gone through ERD modeling, then you can identify what are the entities we supposed to understand from this. Or forget about entities. Or when you say, if this is my problem, then how many tables do we need? And if you say the number of tables, then what are the columns, and what are the primary keys, what are the foreign keys, and all of them we have to provide. Okay, the number of tables we may need. Few people are saying three, few people are saying four. Let us understand how many tables you have to create. But if you ask me, only one table. Okay, so let me show you my design. If you ask me as a designer, so we don't need many tables. We need only one table approach. So all the data for that create a single table store. So from purchase order number, date, supplier name, address, then serial number, item number, description, quantity, price, discount, amount, total amount, supplier discount, tax amount, everything I let me store in a single table. So PO number 1001, date, say supplier name Ravi, his address is some ABC, and item number, and he buying some screws. quantity, price, discount, tax, I don't have the total amount column. I don't have total amount column. I don't have that you can generate easily. Okay. 101. Again, we need second item nuts. And again 101 same purchase order. I am buying the third item, say boards. 101 1001 using the same PO number. I am buying a same some lathe or some XYZ product here. So like that again I have one more purchase order number here. So the price is different, the discount is different, but the tax is 1%, 1%, 1%. The supply discount 10%, 10%, 10%. Okay. Now, like that, I have given you a single table approach, and I also given you some sample data here so that you can understand whether this design is good or bad. Because I need to store the data. Tomorrow, if anybody asks me in the table, I can write a query and get the data simply like that. Okay, so we have data for two purchase. One purchase number is 1001, second purchase number is 1745. Now, if I have a data in a single table, then is there any issue or are there any issues are you finding within the table? The answer is yes. There are lots of issues over there. Okay, there are lots of issues you can understand here. What are the issues? Are there any issues? Now you can understand the date is unnecessarily repeated here. Okay, that this column is completely repeated, and the supplier name column is completely repeated. For example, Ravi, why are you storing Ravi and Ravi again and again? That is not needed. Date is again and again repeated. That is not needed. And PO number again repeated. It is not needed. Then address, why is that address need to you repeat again and again? This is also not needed. Again, the tax only once we need to pay, but why are we repeating again and again? Again, supply discount on the total amount we need to pay only once again. This is also repeated again and again. So that means only you need to buy four items. That is perfect, but your design is not showing like that. Unnecessarily you're repeating PO number, then date, supplier name and address. All these fields you're repeating for each and every item. There is a big blunder in your design. So this is not the right design which you have to create. Okay. So that is where when you create simple table approach, then you put some sample data, you would understand whether my design is perfect or not. Definitely you have duplicated lots of data. If you duplicate, if you have duplicate data, what is the issue? Tomorrow Ravi's address changes, but how many times I would like to change this? You have to change many times. Okay, but that is not very very good. Hard disk space is utilized a lot, and a lot of things are very very bad in this design. The first normalization says is you have to eliminate repeating groups from the existing table and take these columns which are repeating and keep them in a separate table. So that is the first normalization form. So what is the first normal form? You eliminate all the columns which are repeating again and again, keep them in a separate table. So if I apply first normal form, I'll have PO number, date, supplier name, address, tax, supplier discount. This will become one table, and here you will have that. So PO number will come out, date will come out, supplier name will come out, address will come out, tax will come out, supplier discount will come out. So that is what is the table. This table name is purchase order here, master 1001, date, Ravi, address and tax, and this one. 1745 and this one. So if we have one more PO number, that PO would come here. So this table now do not repeat the rows like the previous example. Now the remaining values, what is item number, description, quantity, price, discount, these would be available in the second table. Okay, item number, then you have quantity, then you have price, then you have discount. Okay. The PO number which I am talking, this is I have manually added, because if I say this 11 is for what, this 11 is for what, I don't have any clue. Okay. So this PO number I have added manually. You have to be very clear. It is not because of normalization topic. This is I have added manual because I have to know this 11 for which PO number, this 11 for which PO number. Okay. Because of the reason PO number I have added manually. Now we can understand this 11 is for this PO number, this 11 is this PO number. Now we have eliminated repeating groups. Okay, what is that? You don't have any, a group here. Okay, but if you see in the previous example, as a group, everything, see, this is, repeating, this is repeating, this is repeating, this is repeat, all these are repeating. Of repetitions are not there in the table number 1 and the table number 2. So let me give you or create a clear picture so that you would understand. So what I had taken a single table approach. From the single table I had taken, table 1 and table 2. Here I have created, this is one table for me and this is another table for me. Okay, so I have applied first normal form. Okay, what is that? First NF people would say. NF means normal form. First apply is eliminate repeating groups. Okay, repeating groups are columns which are repeating as a group from the table which you have. So I have eliminated. If when I apply first table, the first table, I am getting two tables here. So what is the first table names? Let me also, purchase order details is one table, then purchase order master. Okay, so purchase order details, PO details, one table, PO master is another table. Okay, I have two tables. So purchase details, which is the purchase details? So this is purchase details, and this is the purchase master. Okay, so I have created these two tables. Now the table number, this is the first one. Then from this I got two tables. This table does not have any duplicates, you can find out, and this tables do not have any kind of repeating groups. Now these two tables are in first normal form. That's what you can see. Now once you apply first normal form, then you need to apply second normal form. So now let us apply second normal form on the details. Okay, so what is the second normal form? Let us understand. Second normal form, you need to understand. The second normal form says eliminate partial primary key dependency. So what is partial primary key dependency? Okay, so we'll go to details table. So details table, we have PO number, item number, description, quantity, price, discount. Okay, so now on this table, let us understand second normal form. So the question is, when is that I need to when is that I have to go in for the second normal form? So let us understand PO details. So here, let me apply second normal form on this table. Okay, here only I am trying to create second normal form. Second NF. So when is that I can apply second normal form? Second normal form you can apply when this table has a composite primary key. When any table has composite primary key, then only the table is used for the second normal form. If the table does not contain a composite primary key, that is not suitable for the second normal form. You have to be very clear. So when is that I can apply second normal form? You can apply second normal form when the table contains a composite primary key. Otherwise, the table is not suited for the second normal form. So let me go to PO master. PO master do not have any. Let me go to PO master. Here, what is the primary key? The primary key would be PO number. So this is the primary key. Okay, this is the primary key. So this is do not have any composite primary key. Hence, purchase order master table is not suitable for applying second normal form. Here you need to skip second normal form on this table. So let me take another table. Purchase order details. Here PO number, item number, together will make a composite primary key. Why together? because PO number is has duplicate and item number has a duplicate. Here you have 11, you have 11 here. But item number alone, item number PO number alone cannot become a primary key, but both of them together can become a primary key. Now you understand, for example, if you ask, sir, what is the quantity for item number 11? If you ask, you cannot identify a single row, because when I say item number 11, then you need to ask me one more question, sir, which is the PO number? When I say the PO number is 1745, oh, 1745, then item number 11, the quantity is 200, sir. That means to identify a single row, you need to have PO number and you need to have item number. So here both of them together will frame a single primary key. This is known as a composite primary key. When there is a composite primary key, you have to go in for normalization, second NF, otherwise you cannot. This is the table which we can use for the second normal form. Okay, if you have a composite primary key, then only you can apply second normal form, otherwise you have to skip second normal form, go to the third normal form. So I can apply second normal form here, so let me apply. Now what is a second normal form? Second normal form says you identify key attributes and identify non-key attributes. So PO number, item number, these two are the key attributes. Okay. Now description, quantity, price, discount, these four are non-key attributes. So you identify key attributes, you identify non-key attributes. Now the second normal form says non-key attribute fully, functionally dependent on entire primary key. That is the second normal form. What is that? Non-key attribute fully, functionally dependent on entire primary key. That means what? There is no partial dependency on primary key. That means what? Description, I have a non-key attribute. This description should be completely dependent on PO number, and it should be dependent on item number also. So let us understand. Description is always dependent on item number, or description is always dependent on PO number. Anybody will say, if I say 11, screw means 11. That means it is nothing to do with PO number. So the description is a non-key attribute. This is partially dependent on the primary key. When there is a partial dependency, then description has to come out from this table. Okay. So now let me take quantity. Now if I take quantity column, if when anybody say the quantity, people would ask which PO number and which item. That means the quantity is an attribute which is dependent upon the item and which is depends upon the PO number. This is a fully functionally dependent column. If somebody says a quantity, sir, which is the item you're talking about, then which is the PO number you're talking about. So you have to ask both. That means quantity is dependent on PO number, item number. So fully dependent. Hence, this column should not come out. Okay. Now price. When I say price, the price is unit price here. So the price is always, if I say 11, 11's price is 10. That's it. When I say price is always depend on item only. If I say duster, duster is 20 rupees. Okay. Always the price of the item would be on the item. It is not dependent on the PO number, because we are not understanding the total price here. This is item price. When I say 11 item, the 11 item is, 11th is then 10 rupees only. 22 item number is 25 rupees only. Whether you use PO number 1 or 2 or 3, the price will not change. Okay? The price is partially dependent on only item number. The price has to come out. So description has to come out, quantity will not come out, price will come out from this table. Now discount. Discount is nothing to do with the PO number or item number. Discount is, I told you, which is dependent on the quantity. If you buy 1 to 100 quantity, I'll give you 1.2%. If you buy 100 to 200, I'll give you 1.5%. So forget about discount as of now. So discount, we have to create another table for this. This is not because of normalization, because of the requirement. So forget about discount as of now. But if you apply the second normal form, you will get description out, price out. So we have eliminated partial dependency. So let me apply. Okay. So I have description came out and price came out. I have manually created a primary key here. The primary key is item number. Manually, we have to add primary key for table. Okay. So description, price, this is called a item master table. So one table you got from here is form. One table you have got this, the another table also will have it here is something different. So let us see. The first table you would have here would be item table. So let me go here. You have item table. The next table you will have is PO number, item quantity. You will go back and understand what all you get. You will get PO number. This is one, and item. Then you have quantity. Okay. Description. This is separated. So description and price. Discount you forget about it as of now. So PO number, item number, quantity will be in the another table. And quantity will be in the another table. So this is revised purchase order details. So this is revised PO details. Okay, like that you got two tables. Okay, now you have applied second normal form. When you when can you apply second normal form? Second normal form can be applied if there is a composite primary key. Otherwise, you cannot. Okay, so I have applied the second normal form. Now let me go back and see. Thing I have done, and one more table is, the discount table is not because of the normalization rule, because of the requirement. Requirement is if this item is the quantity is this much, maximum quantity is this much, 1% discount. So this is you have to create separately manually because of the requirement only. This is nothing to do with a normalization topic. Okay, so hence I have created a separate table for the quantity discount. Otherwise, you forget about it. So you need to understand the concept. What is the concept here? The non-key attributes are fully functionally dependent on entire primary key. If a non-key attribute is not fully or functionally dependent, then you have to take that non-key attribute and remove and keep it in a separate table. So if you apply like that, you will get description and price came out, and I have put in item number and created a table called item table. So this is one table we got it. The second table we got it PO number and item and quantity. So eliminated partial primary key. Now you have got two. Now in this table, what is the primary key? In this table again, these two will make a composite primary key. Primary key, you can again use a second normal form. Can I use second normal form on this table? The answer is yes. What is the second normal form? Non-key attribute fully functionally dependent on entire primary key. Now the quantity is dependent on item number, the quantity is dependent upon PO number, hence the non-key attribute fully functional dependent upon this, so it cannot come out. Even though you apply anything, you don't get anything from this table, hence you have to skip the second normal form from this. Otherwise you can apply if you want to. If you apply, you don't get anything, so this is already in the second normal form. Okay? Now this is this one. Now let us go back to PO master. We did not touch anything here. So this is my PO master. Here we don't have any composite primary key. You cannot apply second normal form. Now let us apply third normal form on this table. Okay. So what is a third normal form? So here in this table, let us understand a third normal form, because you cannot create this form here. Second normal form you cannot apply. Now let us understand a third normal form here. Third NF. Now let us understand what is a third NF. Third NF means column, that is PO number, date, supplier name, address, tax, supplier discount, all of them are the non-key columns. Non-key columns should not have transitive dependency. What do you mean by transitive dependency? Transitivity means A equals to B, B equals to A, or A equals to B, B equals to C, and C equals to A or A equals to C. So that is what is a transitivity. We had learned this transitivity dependency in mathematics. What is the transitivity? If I am dependent on you, definitely you are dependent on me. This is this is like that. A equals to B, B equals to C, definitely A equals to C. That is what is a transitivity law. Law of transitivity in mathematics. So the same law you have to apply here on non-key columns. So supplier name, Ravi will have this address and this address belongs to Ravi. That means I am dependent on you, you are dependent on me. Okay, this should not be the case. The third normal form says there should not be any transitive dependency. What is transitive dependency? You are dependent on me, I am dependent on you. So this column is dependent on another column is dependent on this column. If this is the case, we have to remove these columns from this table. Okay. So Ravi address is this address is belongs to Ravi. Or this address will have only this tax belongs to only this. For example, Tamil Nadu means only 1% or 12%. If Andaman means it is say 5%, like that. This address means that tax means this address. So that the taxes depends upon the address is depends upon the tax. So one column is dependent on other column is dependent on this column. If there is a transitive dependency, what do you mean by transitive dependency? I am dependent on you, you are dependent on me. If there is like this, you have to remove these columns out. So you will get supplier name, address, tax from this table. And supply discount, you need to create another table. Why? Because from 1 to 1 lakh, 10% discount, 1 lakh to 2 lakh, 5% discount. This is not because of normalization. So this is because of the requirement. So forget about this one. So you will get a supplier name and ABC and address and tax into another table. So that is this. So you will get a supplier name and supplier address, supplier tax, and supplier ID I have manually created as a primary key. So this is a minimum price, maximum price. This is not because of normalization. This is created because of the requirement. So forget about supplier discount. So one table you got supplier master. So here supplier master table. Okay. So you will have another table. We have another table, revised purchase order master. Okay, in that you will have remaining fields, PO number, date. So if you go back, what are the remaining fields here? Remaining fields are taken these three out. You have taken these three out, and for this we have created separate table. Forget about this. We have PO number and date. These need to be with the another last table. Okay, so PO number and date provided, but supplier ID you need to add manually because this PO number for which one? So this I have added manually. Okay, so PO number, date, supplier ID, this would be a revised purchase order master. PO master. So like that you will have lots of tables. Okay, so I got table number, this is table number 1, table number 2, this is table number 3, then this is table number 4, and plus we have two discount tables. That is also you have to keep in mind. One discount table is for quantity, the another discount table is for the total item. So this is table number 5, have table number 6 totals. In your solution you will get 6 tables. Okay, so this is what is the solution. Eliminated dependency on the non-key attributes, that is the third normal form. So how many normal forms we have? You have many normal forms. Okay, need not be a single normal form, there are many normal forms. So we have first NF, we have second NF, we have third NF. Okay, we have BCNF, voice code normal form. It will say code form. Okay. Then we have fourth NF like that. Fourth NF, fifth NF, all of them we have. So first NF, second NF, third NF, fourth NF, fifth NF. Okay. But if you apply, normalization, what happens is the number of tables will get increased. Now let us see the diagram. When I apply second normal form, first normal form like that, what is happened? I had, the tables getting split again and again and again. So the duplicates are eliminated automatically when tables are getting split. But the problem with the normalization is when you split many tables, what happens? Automatically, you need to join the tables to, get the data from using queries. If you ask me, what is the problem with the normalization? The problem with the normalization is it will split many tables. When you split many tables, automatically what happens? When you retrieve the data, you have to join. Joining is costly operation. Okay. So when you join the data and get the data from a query, that is where the operations, the query will become very, very slow. The query will become very, very slow. When the query is becoming very, very slow, that is where the people again will say, hey boss, this is not very good design. Normalization will eliminate rows, it will create many tables. So if you split tables, that is, that's what the normalization do. But by splitting, what you gain that you remove the duplicates. That is perfect. Is retrieving will be very, very slow. Why retrieving will be very, very slow? Because of the splitting. To avoid those issues, people will go for the denormalization technique. What is a denormalization technique? So denormalization means adding redundancy knowingly. That means you have, remove the redundancy, that is normalization. Adding redundancy knowingly is known as a denormalization. Denormalization. What is that? So what is the purpose for denormalization? Because normalization will split the tables. Because of that, the performance of the query will become slow because of the joins. So what you do instead of splitting many tables, you have only few your tables. You merge those tables back again. Okay, you have to merge those tables back. That is what is known as a denormalization. Denormalization creates duplicates back, but that is that you knowingly you will create back those redundancy, but that is fine for you. Why it is fine? Because the performance of the query is important for you. So denormalization technique is used to improve the performance. So which will reduce number of tables. Normalization technique will increase number of tables. Denormalization technique will reduce number of tables, and denormalization is used knowingly and only for the improving performance. You have to use denormalization. ठीक है? Use BCN, fourth and fifth and because if you use the splitting will happen again and again, again and again. Nowadays, people are not interested for normalization because they don't want to split. They may maintain duplicates and all, that is fine for them. If we have duplicates, one is the maintenance, the second one is the hard disk space, but that is 2k now. Why? Hard disks are very cheaper nowadays. People are buying and maintaining applications. They don't want to apply BCNF, fourth and fifth NF nowadays. So they're stopping, where they're stopping in third NF only. They're not going for the BCNF, fourth NF, fifth NF. So if anybody asks in interviews, you say that we have, first NF, second NF, third NF, BCNF, fourth NF, and fifth NF. But nowadays, IT industry is not recommending, many normalization rules. They're recommending up to three. One, two, three only you have to use. BCNF, fourth NF you should not use. You have to, after, three normalization, you have to go in for what? Denormalization techniques. Okay, denormalization rules. Okay, so normalization only these three. Okay, normalization means only one, two, three, then they'll go for the denormalization because normalization will split the data into multiple tables. Denormalization will get they'll merge the tables so that you will improve the performance. So that's what you have to understand. Okay, tables after normalization, you have purchase order master and purchase order details and item master, quantity discount, supplier master, supply discount. So these are the tables you will have. I'll ask you a single question. What is the question? In purchase order number 1001, what is the total amount? I would like to know. That's it. Not any query. It's very simple that what is the amount we paid in purchase order number 1001. To do that, first you need to understand what are the details, what are the items we bought it. So that is, you need to go for the purchase order master. From there you need to understand purchase details, to whom we have given and all of them. Then for price you have to go in for the item master for each price. Then you have to go in for the quantity discount to get the discount. Supplier master for the total item, then supplier discount for the top. So you are visiting all the tables and getting data, joining, combining, doing this, that, and definitely which is going to take time. Today you may have only one purchase order. Tomorrow you may have millions of purchase orders in your table. So eliminating, joining will become very very costly operation. So that it is very very you know co- you know co- okay, it's very very bad for you to understand. Okay. So you should not do any kind of. Okay. We're going to discuss about normalization techniques. We have understood the first NF, second NF, and third NF. And the first NF is what? The first NF is eliminate repeating groups. Second one is, all non-key columns to be dependent on entire primary key. No dependency on partial, no dependency on partial key. Third NF is no dependency between non-key attributes. So this is a normalization. Okay. So denormalization is what? Denormalization is control redundancy. Okay. How do you, have denormalization techniques? So all these are different examples. Computed columns you may have, splitting columns you may have, merging columns you may have, consolidation of data into information you may have, duplicate of data. So all these are the techniques are used to improve the denormalization. Tomorrow we're going to discuss about denormalization in detail. Okay. So this is the normalization. So normally we're going to go for denormalization techniques only, not for any other. So tomorrow we'll speak about denormalization and those techniques we are used. Okay. Thanks guys.